Hey everyone, welcome to our channel, The Masters of Dungeons. I am DM Logan, and this will be session 4 of Tyranny of Dragons. So, when last we met, our heroes were ushered back into the keep well after midnight, after completing the duel set in by Cyan Wrath, and they were given their own quarters within the barracks, and our paladin, Aubryn, is still unconscious. And at this time, we focus in on our sorceress, Tristana.
So, is Noah's mother conscious, or is she like off in some like hospital, like hospital, like makeshift hospital bedroom type of thing, Molly?
She'd definitely be off in some kind of room like that. I'd assume she'd be sleeping or resting.
Okay, and so like if I walked into the door frame and I looked into the room, what would I see?
You would see Noah sitting by the bedside on a stool with his elbows on his knees, chin rested on his crossed hands, just looking at his mother's face, and then he just put his forehead into his crossed hands.
So Tristana will kind of on like the frame of the door, kind of like knock, and just say that acknowledge that she's there, and she'll say, "How is she?"
What? Noah would turn to look at you. His eyes are red. They're dry, but it's the look of he definitely the look of someone who has been crying recently. But he looks back at you, acknowledges you. It's like, yeah, she's sleeping now.
So I will approach kind of like where you are and kind of like look down at her. And I kind of imagine, I don't know, like maybe like a weak breathing or like a raspy breathing or something like that. What do you kind of imagine?
Yeah, she would be lying there, like it just covers up to like her up to her neck, and I imagine that there would also be bandages around her eyes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
She'd be kind of breathing a little raspy. Yeah.
So Tristana will look down at her, and she'll look to Noah, and she'll say, "I can help ease some of her pain if you'd like."
And Noah would look at you. What do you mean? What can you do?
Well, it's a bit complicated, but she won't physically heal, but mentally she will feel better. I used to be a priestess once upon a time.
And Noah looks down again, kind of shakes his head, and then looks back up. Yeah, wouldn't have figured wouldn't have figured that. No offense.
Well, it was to a sex goddess, so, you know, if that
Okay.
makes it more believable.
Yeah, that makes more sense.
So she'll kind of like sit down and take your mother's hand, and you'll feel this kind of warmth kind of radiate from like around the room and stuff, and you kind of see this like warm, like kind of like a little orange orb kind of like go out and kind of from Tristana's like palms go kind of, you know, like a little a firefly kind of thing, like going through like her skin and like staying at like her heart. And Tristana will kind of say, just to kind of like keep the conversation going, it's like warriors and soldiers would frequent the temple, many with fatal wounds, and there's little that we could do. So we learned to offer, you know, whatever comfort, you know, we could offer them in their time of passing, and often just the warmth of another human being next to you, knowing that it's not alone, was enough to help ease some of their suffering. But this doesn't help either. It's a bit like chugging fire whiskey, but with no hangover, obviously.
Yeah. Noah would chuck a little bit. So, yeah. Thanks. So about what happened out there before, you know, Auburn went out to, well, you know,
So Tristana takes like a deep breath, kind of like exaggeratedly deep breath. You know, I'm not wrong often. And in any other situation, I don't think I would have been wrong. But by some luck, by some roll of the dice, everything worked out well. And for that, I'm happy, of course. But I just want you to know that I wouldn't have suggested that plan if I didn't think. And she takes another deep breath and she says, let's just say that a similar situation was presented to me. I would have taken, you know, that choice without any hesitation. But looking back now, you grew up with these people. They're your family. And so even though you would have saved, your mother would have been stained by the death of your friends and your family. If they were strangers, you probably could have lived with it okay. I mean, I could have at least, but people you know, it's always a bit harder. Familiarity is a tricky thing like that. She kind of like looks down. So don't get used to me being wrong.
Yeah, well. Glad you're so confident in yourself, because I'm wrong a lot of the time.
I know.
And, like, I was wrong to slap you.
And she kind of like puts a word to like before you say slap. And she's like, let's just not mention it. It's behind us.
Yep. And first.
And then yeah. She kind of like smiles like kind of awkwardly and kind of like gets up and is like, okay, well, I'll let you be alone with her.
Yeah. And
have you checked in on Auburn?
As far as I know, he's stable. And
that's good.
He'll recover. But okay. Kind of been here for the majority of the time.
Yeah. She kind of like looks out like a window or something and kind of looks at the town. There'll be a lot of pieces to pick up after this.
Yeah. And maybe So when you're gonna come, right?
Come to what? She kind of giggles
Go.
a little bit.
And
Or smiles. She doesn't giggle. She's like, smiles slightly.
yeah. And Noah at this point is standing up, kind of like a hand brushing, and like the back, scratching on the back of his head. You're gonna come when we to go kill that thing, right?
She kind of, well, I guess.
Yeah, 'cause I'm
I don't usually like going on suicide missions, but I guess if you're going and Fobrin's going, I guess I have no choice.
here's the thing: if I went alone, it'd definitely be a suicide mission. And as much as I want to march out there right now by myself, I'm not an idiot.
Well, that's debatable, but I see your point.
So thank you. Why am I tongue tied? I'm never tongue tied.
It happens. She smiles again.
Not to me.
But just know this, Noah. I never do anything for free. And then with that, she walks out the door.
Noah kind of shakes his head and sits back down by the other side on the stool, and he kind of brushes his hands over her hair, kind of away from the bandages on her eyes, and kind of puts his forehead to the side of the bed, but like on her shoulder. He's like, "I'm gonna have to leave you one more time. I'll be back. I'll be back, though, I promise." And I'm gonna get the bastard who did this to you, and he'll die by my hand. And if I don't come back, no, I'll come back. I will come back. I won't leave you alone again.
And your mother startles a little bit. She reaches out her hand to you.
And I imagine.
Carthron?
Oh, sorry.
Carthron, it feels so warm in here.
It's Noah, Mom. You know I don't like that name. Reminds me of him.
Yes, my child, but I like that name.
Yeah, never let me forget it. You've never called me Noah. It'd be nice if you could humor me just a little bit.
You do what you must. Just know that nothing that you do could ever stop me from being proud of you.
And Noah, even though she's blind, or even though these bandages are over her eyes, he can imagine those sweet, caring, light blue eyes staring back up at him, and he smiles. Thanks. I'll be back. And this will be the last time. And he would get up, and sling a pack over his shoulder, and begins walking away. So, see you, Mom.
Good night, Carthron. Come back to me.
Don't worry, I will. Can't get rid of me that easily.
All right. So, Carthron exits the room that his mother is staying in and catches some sleep elsewhere. Meanwhile, the scene changes. The sun warms your face atop the parapet of Greenest Keep, Auburn, as it makes an appearance above the horizon. The majesty overwhelms you, and you close your eyes in its gentle embrace. But something strange occurs. Your skin grows cold. You furrow your brow as the warm rays are replaced by an icy sting. As your eyes open once more, the beautiful canvas before you, crowned by the sun's glory, is no more. Darkness stretches across the sky, and the golden sphere of the sun is eclipsed by corruption. Before you, Greenest burns, and its inhabitants flee in all directions, only to be slaughtered in the shadows. It is then that you feel the ever-familiar glare of evil incarnate. From inside the eclipse, 10 monstrous eyes stare into your very soul as if they would tear it out. Suddenly, a hand cold as death grasps your shoulder, and you awake.
So, when I awake, my eyes are still held firmly shut. And I wake screaming, almost at the top of my lungs. You could hear me well into the other room or a couple rooms down.
Whoa, 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 what is it, my son? You must lie down. Your wounds, says Edian, as he removes his hand from his shoulder, trying to pad your pillow and lay you back down on your cot.
It's nothing. It's nothing new. Just a nightmare. I think it's time for me to get up. We have things to do.
In the shape that you're in, I wouldn't advise going far.
Oh, I won't. I'll be staying here for a while.
Well, you do what you must, but don't do anything too strenuous. I wouldn't want your wounds to reopen.
I appreciate everything you've done and taking care of me. And I reach out my hand.
And he grabs it and shakes it. It is nothing that, in comparison to your sacrifice, you and your friends, we are ever grateful. But I'm sure you will hear that from many others who are wanting to greet you this morning. It's quite a crowd out there.
Auburn gives him a half smile. How's your daughter? Is she okay?
Oh, Lenin will be fine. She struggles in her own way, but she's not wounded anywhere anywhere like you. She will recover. She's young.
That's great to hear.
Aye. Shanti's light shone well over Greenest last night.
That is true. The sun is shining today. I know it.
Yes, yes it is. Go out and greet your son, Auburn. Greet your son, your friends, and the people of Greenest.
Take care of yourself and your daughter. I know she's been through a lot. He
I will.
starts to walk out after gathering his things.
We're here for you. Know that.
And I for you.
Okay. So, as you exit the room that you were in and make your way through the barracks, you meander past the rooms that Carthron and Tristana were in. Carthron, Tristana, Noah.
So I would say that if you were to go by, Noah, also known as Carthron, but Noah would be snoring peacefully as he did not get any sleep the following night because he was looking after his mom all night. And so he'd be kind of sprawled on a bed, one foot hanging off, just kind of looking very, very ungraceful.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think Tristana would be like out somewhere on like the castle walls, just kind of like looking introspectively, like out very off into the distance, something like that.
Okay. So, Auburn, you notice Carthron sprawled on a cot. It is not early in the morning. It's well into the sun rising, 9 o'clock, 9 close to 10 in the morning. So Greenest has been busy for a little while.
We're in a room, or where are we?
You're walking down the hall past Carthron. Noah's room.
Is he the only
Don't
one?
do it again.
Is he the only one in there?
Yeah. They are very small rooms.
Auburn seeing this would just kind of nod his head a little bit and then continue walking, leaving Noah the rest.
All right. So, Greenest Keep outside bustles as the townsfolk prepare themselves for the rebuilding of their beloved city, and people running to and fro, businesses trying to set up within the keep to help those in need. And as the morning goes on, Carthron did it again. I did it again. I can't stop now. The beast has been unleashed. Noah, excuse me. will eventually wake up, and you kind of get this feeling that it's you need to get a move on. You know, you've rested enough, that kind of feeling, and you feel this urgency.
Yeah, and yeah, you get up with stretch, crack his back. He only got like maybe hour and a half, 2 hours of sleep, but he wants to sleep more. But he knows there's things that have to be done, and he kind of get up, grab his things, and I'll walk out into the courtyard.
So, Tristana, you would see this, and Auburn going to meet Noah and kind of unite as a unit.
As man and wife. Yes.
There are three of you.
In sexual congress. That's okay.
And once
More the merrier.
Once you are all three together, it kind of
Yes.
draws the attention of lots of folk, more than just when you were apart. And people begin to kind of look at you and whisper and smile. And some even approach you with thanks and small, meaningless, mundane gifts. The best that they can come up with. Nothing at all ornate or fancy, but the word has been spread that you three were the heroes of Greenest.
And these people kind of come up and start offering these gifts. Noah be like, "Come on, but Belinda, I don't need that. You're fine. You're fine. You don't need to give me anything. I live here too. It's my home.
I insist. You must.
No, I did. Fine. Thanks. You kind of look over to Auburn. You holding up all right?
You see Auburn's kind of doing the same thing, trying to push people away and not take gifts, and that their thanks is enough. And then on a table next to him, you kind of see like the little pile of gifts that people just kind of started leaving there because he wouldn't take them.
Yeah. Tristana's a very same act, very different reason. She's kind of like, oh, thank you, but no. Like, you know, that she's kind of like, you know, like little bobbles and bits. Like, oh, that's so kind, but no thank you. Very different reactions across the board.
The contrast of Tristana's attire and these lowly farm folk.
Yes.
And Noah would look over to Auburn's pile, and I live here. They know me. You have like 10 times more stuff that I do.
And these people are just leaving it. And he's kind of, if you look at the pile, you look at Auburn, he kind of just shrugs at you. There's nothing he can do about it.
Yeah, well, it's kind of to be expected. I wasn't exactly the one who fought a dragon man. It's not yet.
You'll get your time. You'll get your time.
Oh, believe me, I know I will.
And through the ruckus, Governor Nighthill spots the party and quickly rushes to greet you, parting the crowd. Good morning, heroes! I hope you've rested well, as you certainly deserved it. Along with that, Greenest, as you can see, overflows with gratitude for your heroic deeds. What's more, I believe mere words can only convey a portion of our most sincere thanks. And as he says this, he comes bearing gifts. More gifts. This time, more than just trinkets, however. Please, take this. As he hands you all together a symbolic key to the town of Greenest. Kind of an ornate bauble that you would know would entail that Greenest is indebted to you, and that her forces can be ready at a moment's notice should there be need in the future. What's more, you're all granted 100 gold pieces apiece, and most of the goods and services within Greenest are half price. From here on out.
All right. And as a good old tarball comes up and does that, Noah say, you sure, Night Hill? Is it really all right to give me that?
You have more than earned it, Noah.
Yeah, well, I know he was presenting it, but Noah. All right, how you say? And Noah would give the key to Auburn if Tarball hadn't already handed it to Auburn.
Yeah. He's kind of presented it to all of you, so yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, Mr. Son of the Sun, you should keep that.
We will treasure this. Thank you.
Do you have a last name?
Son of the Sun.
And before he can really kind of answer, you hear, "As well as this," says Guard Captain Red, as he approaches you three, looking at Auburn and offering a cuirass made of blue dragon scales. "I had my father's cuirass refurbished earlier this morning by the smithy, calling on a favor he owed me. It was intended to be a family heirloom. But what good is armor if not for protection? I hope it fits well, and that you'll accept this as a gift of my gratitude for your courage in rescuing my family."
And unless you want to say something, Ryan, I imagine he starts handing this over, and again, you're just like, no, or like that kind of thing. But then Noah, like, Auburn, you're not going to get out of this one. That dwarf is the most stubborn creature I've ever known. Just take it.
The boy is right.
He still calls me boy.
And I always will, Noah.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, Red.
Auburn kind of sighs at this, and I guess if you insist, he says in like a joking manner, and smiles at him and sets it on the table next to him with the key on top of it.
So that is a cuirass of blue dragon scales. So if you want to look that item up. I believe its most notable attribute is resistance to lightning.
And we have officially received more magic items in this campaign than mine.
How do you spell that?
How do you spell what?
Curious. Curious?
Curious?
Yeah.
Cuirass?
Yeah.
A 5e item. Oh, maybe it's under. It is a dragon scale mail. Excuse me, dragon scale mail.
Alrighty. And is Red still there?
Yeah.
So Auburn would stick his hand out. And, I must thank you. I really must. And he sticks his hand out, and his other hand is like in his coin pouch. And he brings him into a hug instead of a handshake. And as he does, he drops about 10 gold into his pocket without him knowing.
Yeah, and he definitely doesn't realize, and definitely in a little bit of a shocked manner, having to bend down so much for a dwarf, but he gives you a hearty hug in return.
Yeah. I definitely think that Noah would have noticed that, and out of context for Red, say, "Oh, what a nice guy."
Yeah, so Red would interpret that differently. But yes. So, with a smile, Nighthill continues. I hope these gifts adequately convey our thanks. Excuse me, this accent, and I was reading it by myself, and it's so hard to transition these accents. However, I regret that I must once again request your services. We desperately desire to discover where exactly the raiders have retreated to, and how many they still number. Their leaders must be top priority if we are to learn their motivation for the attack, and where they plan to strike next. I am willing to pay you all 250 gold pieces from my personal account should you bring us this information. Will you accept? He asks all three of you.
Noah would put as a hand. Noah kind of put his hands just above his hips, and like, Harbaugh, I was going to do that anyway. Or, excuse me, Governor. Gotta get used to that.
The Sunfather and I are here. As long as you need us, we will help.
And his smile grows, looking lastly
How much?
to the sorceress.
How much?
What? He offered you 250 gold pieces.
Okay, that's acceptable. Yeah, sorry, you guys have been kind of cutting in and out. So I've been hearing like da, 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 like little snippets here and there. So I didn't. Yeah, sorry about that.
Oh, okay.
It's okay.
Yeah, he said they really need to know the motivation behind the attacks, information from their leaders, where they're going to strike next, and
then he offered the money, and they're like, no. And then Tristana's like, I will take all of your shares. I am your financial manager. I'll show you how to spend your money.
So, with your agreement, Nighthill, and
Of money.
I really want to get his accent back. It's so hard. Hold on. Give me 1 second.
I don't know if this will help you, but one thing that helped me is I would have like one kind of like primer word that I would say before I said anything. So kind of like, what's a good example? I of course can't think of one now, but like one that like, I don't know. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
And that helped kind of
Scotland.
until I forgot about it.
I'm going to end up not doing it. And you only lose 1 AC, Ryan.
2. It's medium armor. You gotta count my dex.
Why isn't
We'll figure it
Carthorn
out later.
use it?
Nighthill continues. I hope these gifts adequately convey our thanks. However, I regret that I must once again request your services. We desperately... wrong. I swear. Splendid, he says. Should your arms and armor need repair, our smithy has already resumed his work, and we have 1 or 2 merchants available here in the keep. Please make use of our services, and may Shanti light your path. But before he leaves, he looks at you, Noah, and says, may I have a word?
Yeah, sure.
So he just kind of pulls you aside, and he says, I would like to look after your mother, if you are all right with that.
Of course, Governor. I was just gonna ask that you do that.
So you won't have
Seems
to worry about her. She'll be here in the keep.
Yeah, don't worry. I know she's in good hands. Edian always does his best.
That he does.
Yeah, and any luck when I return? Not only will we have the information, hopefully we'll have that bastard's head.
Just remember, you were called to be more than just someone who seeks retribution, Noah. This world has a need for you and your allies. I hope you realize this.
Yeah. Noah, the kind of the smile on his face would wane just a little bit, but it's still there. It's like, yeah, well, see about that after we kill him.
All right. So,
See you, Night Hill.
yeah. Farewell. Edian is going to once again approach you, all of you, and he comes with 2 flasks in his hands, kind of shuffling over to you, and offers you all, with the group, 2 potions of healing. These might help you along your journey. Those will be 2, if somebody wants to write this down, or all of you, 2d4 plus 4 each.
Okay. Who does he hand them to?
He kind of just comes up to all 3 of you and holds them out, whoever would take them.
Noah would definitely take at least one of them. Yeah, pretty sure I'm going to need this. So, thanks.
I have no doubt. And Auburn, if any of those wounds need to be reattended to, perhaps this will help since I won't be around.
I appreciate your offer. And your gift.
Sana appreciates it too.
I imagine there's kind of like an awkward like eye contact between her and this priest, since kind of had a plan to like disregard his child.
He still looks at you with rather soft eyes. There is no there's no
She's very
retribution
suspicious of this. Yeah. doesn't not buying it. She she gets her like her 2 potions or whatever, and she kind of like uncorks it or whatever, and kind of like wafts it.
That was 2 potions for all 3 of you, not each.
Yeah. Oh, well, that's an important detail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well, never mind then. She's just gonna stay away from that. She notes that only 2 potions were given to 3 of us. She gets it, and she walks away
Well, minus the entire wounded army.
Walks
They
away.
tend to do.
Walks away.
Before you can do that,
Don't need your stupid push anyway.
his expression changes. Oh, Tristana.
Ready as a fireball.
My daughter, Lenin, she has some information for you that I think you would find important.
She kind of like gives him a look like, yeah, okay. And then she's like, she looks over to the daughter and kind of like puts on a happier face.
Yeah, the daughter is kind of over helping in the background with somebody, with their mule or something like this.
Great, a peasant girl. Okay, thank you. And she walks over to the girl.
So Lenin, though, while she is working kind of with the farm folk, she looks more like a sorceress out of The Witcher. She's kind of equipped much better and not really so dirty and disheveled as the peasantry. So you kind of get her attention. She sees you approaching, and she kind of slaps the mule on the butt and the peasant and walks off with the mule, and she looks at you. Yes, Tristana, I would like to share some things with you if you have a moment. I think you'll find them very intriguing.
Of course.
Okay, this way. And she's going to lead you back to the barracks, kind of in her own kind of room where she has some makeshift things set up. I'll need a few of these items. Please, take a seat for a moment.
Okay. Sits down. Kind of like,
she starts. You see, divination runs in my blood. The aura emitted by Cyanrath, that monster, drove me near mad, cursing me with visions of pain, past, present, and future, as she speaks with you, as she kind of concocts some components into a vial. This might be strange, but I know that you are a purveyor of magics as well. In any case, brace yourself. And she takes the contents of the vial and and she downs it.
Wait, she drinks it?
Yeah, she drinks it.
Okay.
And almost immediately, she enters this kind of trance. Pupils disappear, kind of looking up, and she kind of, in almost a rambling fashion, starts to talk. I see madness, gilded by the black gaze of a dragon, promised life eternal. The one you call Davin has become chaos incarnate, corrupted utterly by his relation to you. The cult knows of the fire that burns in your heart, flame of the east. Suddenly she is interrupted. A guttural scream emerges from the mouth of Lenin that can only be described as hellish. Her face and body contort wickedly as an ethereal substance pours from the girl's mouth like smoke in front of you. It swirls together to form a muscular elven man.
Oh no. This is not good.
Tristana Zahara, as beautiful as ever. I hear we've been searching for each other, says the image of one you know as Davin.
Well, we do have some catching up to do, she says very icily.
Yes, as I imagined. I regret that you could not be rescued from the Pharaoh of Osirian, and truth be told, I have missed you ever since.
Yes, an entire year, not a single rescue attempt. You must have been very busy.
Well, until now. We thought you dead, Tristana. You'll have to forgive Born Grey. His actions were unprecedented, he says seriously. He has been dealt with, don't you worry. However, I do hope you weren't close to his appointed keeper. Victus, was it? I tried to negotiate, but the cow was stubborn to a fault. Tragic, really.
Can't be helped. He's stubborn as an ox. That's not an expression. Oh well.
Tristana, I am here to tell you that the Aurum Draconis have achieved great things in your absence. And this
Prison
is
breaks
only the
not
beginning.
among them, but continue.
Listen to me, he says, again seriously. The cult has become our puppet. We are untouchable. The Dragon Queen Tiamat has promised us life evermore. Do you understand the power that entails?
You're foolish to believe in the promise of a deity. They care not for mortals like you and I. They simply use us in their eternal game of manipulation and chess.
I've seen her myself.
I'm sure you have, she says condescendingly.
It
I
will
never
be.
took you for a religious fanatic, Dave, and what
This
brought
has
this on?
nothing to do with religion, Tristana.
You're talking about a god. It has everything to do with religion.
I am not worshipping her as if she were a god. She is a means to an end, don't you understand?
Just doing her bidding. Basically the same thing.
Tristana, I need you, he says.
For what?
You will be heralded as a champion. Do you understand this? The vessel for Tiamat herself. Anything you have ever desired can be yours.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Back up. You want her... You want me to be her vessel?
It
No.
is no secret, the power
No.
that holds
No,
within you.
No. I'm done being the plaything of gods, of deities. They'll bring only heartbreak and trouble.
What of riches?
What good are riches when you are branded, when you are enslaved? If you go down this path, that's all that awaits you. Bondage.
Loved ones? Yobird? Melisandre? Ignicifer? You can see them again.
Oh, yes, I'm sure. In the glorious afterlife, once she takes over my
This
body.
is no time for jokes, Tristana. This is real. Look at this. I come to you, a message, through this magic. I'm no magician. There is power here.
At that, she kind of like shifts uncomfortably in kind of like a realization that, you know, there's something kind of weird going on here. I don't like it. This will end badly for all of us. What could you possibly give her that would make any type of... It doesn't make any sense.
Well, think about it. I have made my bargain, and I have no doubt that your friends will attempt to retaliate against the Cult of the Dragon. Listen to me. Play along. Lead them southeast to the steppes of Am. Look for the Aurum Draconis. We will meet you there. The image of Davin approaches you. His hand reaches for yours. Remember what is being offered to you. Until we meet again, Tristana. And just as it formed, the image obscures and swirls above Lenin before returning. In an instant, she falls to the ground, her skin cold and breath shallow. It is about this time that the door bursts open. Aegeon enters. Tell me what occurred. I heard screams.
What does she look like right now? Is she kind of like collapsed on the floor?
Yeah.
She drank this concoction and became incoherent, babbling about chaos, and to be honest, it was all quite very fast, and then she started to seizure.
He bends down to his daughter. It was too soon. She was not ready for this. Oh, kind of.
Has this happened before?
Yes. She dabbles with these potions and things that I do not approve of, but I will not let you go easily this time, my daughter. Not again. And he kind of rummages through his package and feels her forehead and, attempts to treat her.
I don't mean to pry, but is there anyone who has similar propensities to her? Did she inherit this from her mother or grandfather, grandma?
My wife, she, Shanti, bless her, is no longer with us. She was involved in an incident on one of her visions many years ago, and this is why I do not approve. You can tell. It is dangerous.
Well, when you have these, and she kind of powers, and he has powers, right? Like he's like, well, I've seen his powers like firsthand.
Right.
Yeah.
His,
well, you understand the feeling of being. She kind of says the word blessed, like kind of sarcastically, but blessed. Asking them not to use your powers is like being asked not to walk. If she doesn't find somebody who can help her channel or focus or refine this, I don't think it'll end very well. Is there anyone, I don't know, some sort of divination, something? Even just a wizard just to help her focus.
I am afraid that I am the only one for a long way around here that would be of any use, and that is very small. I've taught her all that I can.
Is there like an arcane university or something like that? Like Greenest U or?
Not anywhere. Nowhere close.
You have to ask.
That's a good one.
Well, speaking from experience, the faster she figures out how to control this, the better it'll be for her. If you let this grow unchecked, she might not be the only one who gets hurt. And she kind of looks down and breaks eye contact.
Aiden can tell that there is history there. About this time, though, Lenin stirs. I have a very strange headache, she says, and Aegon sighs. You can't be messing with those potions, Lenin. You have to understand. But, Father, I felt this was important. Did you perchance learn anything, Tristana?
She kind of like sighs and kind of like looks kind of coy. To be honest, I couldn't really understand much of what you said. Names were familiar, but too many details. Too many unconnected points. It was like being drawn a map with only cities labeled and nothing of the forest or the trees or the roads or the rivers or the seas. Without the context, it's difficult to say.
She kind of sits up against the wall, hand kind of on her forehead. You know your way around magic?
She kind of, I dabble.
Perhaps I could accompany you. And Edian immediately, no. I will not allow it.
She kind of smiles. I'm not sure if I could offer you anything.
I won't be a burden. I promise.
I didn't think that you would be, but
There are so many things that I would love to learn. These walls are all that I've known.
she kind of like takes a breath and like looks over to Edian and kind of like, you know, perhaps I'll let you two talk about it before we can discuss this. If your feelings have unchanged and you get your father's approval, and she kind of winks very slyly at her, hoping like that, you know, Edian did not notice. We'll talk later. And then very abruptly she'll turn and leave.
Yeah.
You know, let's get out of here.
And you can kind of hear like a scolding voice as you leave, you know, Edian, father to daughter. So, yeah. So you leave, and Noah, Albrin, back in the square of the keep. Are you prepared?
Yeah, and I just wanted that whole exchange was awesome. Loved listening to that.
That was pretty cool. That was pretty cool. I enjoyed that.
Because I love these emotional experiences so much, and all of you, I mean, really just you exceed my expectations every time. I would like to grant you all an inspiration point.
Thank you.
My first point of inspiration.
And your last.
I know.
Okay, so I know it's kind of to spring you with this, but I don't know if you had anything in mind. Like I said, the goods, the merchants, they are available for anything like that. If you want to take a moment, look around, maybe spend something, make a deal, haggle a little bit. That's up to you. If not, the Greenest is going to supply you with a means to travel. If you would like horseback, if you would like wagon, or if you would prefer neither, they want to accommodate you.
Guys, do you have anything that's like utility wise that you think we should get?
Yeah.
Siege equipment, ballista,
Airship.
mercenary, group,
An airship.
sex slaves.
Draw the line there.
Okay, but you're on board with the ballista idea?
Yeah,
okay.
Airship and a ballista are fine, but sex slaves, no.
We have Tristana. We don't need any of those. Why waste the money?
Yeah, Tristana has a kind of like a frilly, like role playing thing to get, but not like a utility, like serious, like a sword or new armor or anything like that.
Right. We understand her vanity by now.
Oh. Basically, she just needs new gloves because hers were burnt off from, you know, her spell exploding in her hand. So
Yeah, so they can accommodate that for sure.
sweet. Okay, but before that, do you guys actually have anything, you know?
Like I said, take a moment. I know that I'm kind of springing that on you, but if you had anything in mind.
Yeah. Only one thing comes to mind. I can just say it, or we can role play it, or it's not a big purchase. It's just a little thing.
Go ahead and just say it. We've done plenty of dialogue and role playing, and I don't want to get too bogged.
Yeah. I would just want to purchase a couple of little bells.
Oh, so in fact, some of the trinkets that were presents that were gifted to you were an assortment of bells as well.
All right.
That's funny that you say that,
Awfully
because
convenient.
I was thinking that earlier. I really was, but I was like, well, I won't say it. They won't actually use it, but
So,
you never know.
Did they give me any gloves?
Probably none that you would appreciate.
There's a fine textile industry here, you know. A noblewoman's shop, anything like that.
You see, but before we go on, Logan, our dungeon master, was just talking about the roleplay, but we've been playing for an hour and we haven't rolled a single die, and we've still had a freaking blast.
I love
I'm
this
gonna roll a
group.
percentile die to see if there is indeed something, or
Sure.
if I'm gonna have to like rough it and like wear commoner's gloves. Ugh, the thought.
Yeah, there are some commoner's gloves in your little Christmas.
Give me a percentage of the likeliness of like a nice like silk or I don't know what
50?
gloves. Yeah, pretty gloves.
Above 50?
Okay. That is 9.
Negative, my friend.
Well, I guess some like cowhide gloves or donkey hide gloves or some nasty,
I'm actually gonna roll.
awful colored gloves.
I'm actually gonna roll on the trinket table to see what weird ass trinket one of these townspeople have given me,
Sure.
other than the bells. Let's see.
I appreciate that.
I'm gonna do the same.
Yeah, I like that. I think they're pretty small, so if y'all want to roll maybe 3 times or something like that for anything unique.
How about I don't accidentally open Steam, and
I got a chess piece made of glass.
What?
A chess piece made from glass. That's
Very
what
interesting. Use that how you want. Or change it however you want. I don't really.
Now look at that, a sex slave.
Ah.
a tiny gnome-crafted music box that plays a song you dimly remember from your childhood.
That's cute.
And then my other one is a tiny silver icon of a raven.
Ooh. Okay, yeah.
Oh.
Just do 2. How about that? That's a good one.
Right.
I got a torn page on which is written death.
Oh dear Lord. Okay.
That definitely fits.
Oh no.
Let's just
they
say
found out.
not everyone in the crowd was pleased, I guess.
I guess they overheard my whispers. It's okay. I'm hoping that I'll have a
Pressed inside a book discussing manners and etiquette. All right.
And Auburn would have picked up a couple things of chains.
Some chains.
Yeah.
kinky.
Ah.
He had about like 2 or 3 10-foot.
Did it excite you?
All right, those chains are pretty heavy, Auburn.
And loud.
Like my armor.
Yeah.
So it's fine.
Just like your armor. Oh, so yeah, I didn't think about Dex bonus when I was looking at this. I knew that it was not. Let's, for the sake of making it worthwhile, let's call it heavy armor. All right.
Okay.
Oh my God, Logan, did you just change the rules?
Nope. I
Right.
make the rules. I don't change them.
And there you go. Two lessons.
DMing 101.
BRB bathroom break, 1 minute.
All right, go ahead. So what do you think, Tristana?
Me like.
A protege?
Oh yes. A forbidden protege from my enemy. It's beautiful. It's my revenge against his previous slight against me.
Hey,
Oh, you didn't give me a potion? I'll just take your daughter. It's totally eye for an eye.
LOL. Priest of
Totally not overkill.
lawful good, priest of Shanti, your mortal enemy.
I will corrupt her as I corrupt everyone before me.
Whoa. What's
We're
your
gonna have some.
alignment
It's complicated. Okay.
again?
It changes. I'm alignment fluid.
Ah,
Yeah. So
careful, Wesley.
I'm not
We don't want to buck
defined by my alignment.
your alignment orientation.
No. Yeah. So
We need to be PC on here, okay? This is family.
that was PC. That was my PC.
I know, that's
Your
what I'm saying.
alignment is Tristana Zahara.
Word. Well, if someone didn't give my real name out to the world, then I'd be fine.
Well,
You know.
What are you talking about?
Shut up. Wesley.
they know. Rip me.
How do you feel about that, Logan and Ryan?
Well, we also did not do our individual introductions, which I regret.
I'm glad. The world shouldn't know who we are,
Probably because my subconscious
and
was
they won't know who we
unhappy
are
with
ever.
Wesley and Molly effing with it.
Word. Also knocked it out of the park. Hey, Molly.
A
Hey.
Okay, so I believe everybody has gotten what they need.
Got some goat hide gloves. Yeah.
How are we going to travel?
We're not carrying anything with us, right? So I'd just say horses, probably, right? Alpacas, camels, horses,
Around here.
pack mules,
We could all
ox,
work together and buy siege
Oxes.
pool to have a horse pull it.
really large dogs,
Buy some
boars,
what?
Siege tool.
rhinos,
Siege tool. LOL.
We can buy
ballistae,
Okay, all right.
airplanes.
Pick.
I'm for big dogs. Oh, what about griffins? Do they have any
I'm about
griffins?
to not give you an option.
How about griffins?
You are this close to walking.
I mean, let's take a horse.
yeah,
All right.
horse would be fine.
Yeah.
Horsey horse.
Horsey horse.
Done.
Preferably Mr. Ed.
I like Milton better.
That too.
Wow, I can't believe you would forget. Molly.
Yeah. Seriously.
For all you've been through. So, you gather your means of transportation. You gather your supplies for a journey that may or may not take too long. Kind of a,
Will it take
excursion.
about as long as a cutscene?
Hey.
Hey.
And, you prepare to leave the town, and lots of people kind of wishing you farewell. And
Except for that one death threat guy.
except for that one. LOL.
It was the priest, I know it.
Tarball Nighthill stands by the gate to wave you goodbye, assisting your mother, Noah, in the process.
With his
And
penis.
no. Okay, I'm enough.
That's what the chat is for, Wesley.
Sorry.
Guard Captain Red is kind of barking some orders at his men atop the parapet, and as you make your way out the gate, well, a figure comes running from the barracks. A feminine figure, adorned with a backpack, lean and swift, runs after you three.
An assassin. I'm just kidding.
You did prepare a fireball earlier.
I did. I haven't used it. It's just been sitting in my hand. Did we see Edian when we were leaving?
No.
Or was he not in the crowd? Okay. Are we still in like eyesight of like the crowd?
You're getting further.
Okay.
You're getting further.
Is it an acceptable distance to take a, stowaway?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
An acceptable distance.
Okay. Yeah. I kind of like ride up to her. Kind of like, get on.
You don't understand how grateful I am, truly. And she accompanies you.
I'll tell you one thing. You're in for the ride of your life. Dun, 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 dun. Horse
So,
puns.
what exactly brought you to this area, Auburn?
Oh, good. I thought she was going to ask me. That'd been awkward.
As you ride, she talks.
I'm on a quest from Polar. Or from an angel. That is right.
He is the son of the sun, don't you know?
That I am. Noah's persistent with that.
Well, I'm sorry, my father's devotion to the Lady Shanti has kind of excluded me from the knowledge of other deities, but I do understand that Pelor is also one of the more benevolent of the gods.
Okay, wait 1 second. I just realized, why are you here?
And she kind of loses her words, being so confronted so directly.
She needs training, a guiding hand. And we all know that Edian, God rest his soul, won't give it to her.
God rest his soul, you make it sound like he's dead.
Well,
So y'all are trainer together?
You didn't. Okay.
I wish that I could say that I did. So bad. That'd be so great. But no, he's alive.
I don't. Yeah, I hope. I don't. Okay, training. This isn't exactly the best.
And tell me, Noah, what do you know about having magical powers? What's that? Absolutely nothing.
I truly do not mean to be a divisive
No.
issue.
Noah is simply a moron. He'll get used to it.
You have to understand that when you have lived in Greenest for your entire life, the world around you, it seems so enticing. I could not pass on this opportunity.
Yes. Look at the world. Taste its sweet fruit.
Auburn clears his throat and goes, "It's okay, Noah. 2 apprentices are better than 1. Isn't that right?"
What?
Dude.
What?
They both need training, don't they?
Okay, that's yeah. 2 apprentices better than 1. Yep.
We'll find you a trainer, Tristana. Someone, an expert.
You're funny. I wonder if you'll be so funny when you're sleeping alone, unattended.
Tristana?
Next to a tent.
I'm never alone
It
with Paul.
may or may not be
Yeah.
flammable.
Okay, so, Lenin, do you, you haven't been out of Greenest ever at all?
Well, there was one time.
Other than the kidnapping.
No.
Too soon. Damn. Other than the time you were brutally kidnapped and taken from your home by force, have you ever left Greenest? I guess not. Jeez. Monster.
Yeah,
Sorry,
so
sorry.
Lenin herself is probably, about 15. She's very young.
Old enough for Tristana.
What?
Well, that's when she learned.
What?
Well, it's complicated. She was 16, but it's close enough.
Rip.
How to use her powers. Gosh. Jeez. I just think this exchange actually happens.
I mean, you did learn it in a sex temple.
It was of manipulation and comforting. And yes, pleasure as well. So you got me there.
All right. So, as the banter continues, the trail is rather obvious that was left behind by the cult. Kind of a large swath of footprints, all leading southeast, deeper into the plains, and eventually the steps of Am, A-M-N. Excuse me. And the swath stretches about 12 miles before you start to see, and I don't know how much is it that you can typically get on horseback in a day? Anybody off the top of their head?
I do not know.
I feel like 12 miles is a little bit longer. Anyway, it gets toward the afternoon, and the region begins to, you start to see more rocky plateaus that replace the gently rolling hills, and most of it is flat, broken up by outcroppings and wandering streams. So, in the distance, as you talk, Noah, you notice a singular trail of smoke, no larger than, a personal fire. But it is in direct line with the trail.
Can I tell how far away it is?
At this point, it's very far away, off toward the horizon.
Mm-hmm. And if we're in a conversation, then Noah would just abruptly go quiet and kind of focus in on the smoke trail. See that? Smoke trail ahead. We got company for a little while, but it's there. We get, what time of day is it right now?
Probably about closer to 4 or 5 in the evening.
Okay. Yeah, we can ride far ahead, a few more miles. Should probably get off and I can go see what that's all about. It's not a very small, there's not a very large smoke trail, but still, I want to know who'd be out here on the path. And if it's a cultist, well, you know what we'll do.
Anything else? as you ride.
We ride!
So eventually you come within, about 100 to 200 feet of the site. And as it kind of leads up to this little, there are some rocks that build up, and you can see this little small smoke trail kind of coming from underneath, like a little alcove. And around, kind of leading up, you can see various bags of familiar bags of loot, weaponry strewn about carelessly. And from inside, Noah, you can hear from this distance kind of laughter cutting up, almost drunken fun. Of quite a few voices.
So yeah, Noah, I kind of stop. I'm gonna get off the horses, take them a little bit away, and go check this out. See how any of them, whether there might be any that are not there. I'm just gonna go scout it out. All right. And for the love of God, don't make any noise.
Leanin kind of makes a zipper across her mouth.
Yeah, Noah was definitely looking more at Leanin than the other two, but he might have moved his gaze over a tiny bit. Because you're wearing heavy armor, right, Auburn?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he give you a glance, but it was mainly directed at Leanin.
Aubrey would nod when you looked his way. He wouldn't say anything.
Yeah. Right. And now
we stealth.
For the first time.
Hey.
Oh,
Hellcat
God.
stealth?
Stealthing again. Oh. See it?
Wow, that's exactly what I called.
Right. That would be a 16.
Alrighty.
Roll a 6.
So we gather some reconnaissance. So you make your way stealthily, managing not to snap any twigs or kick any rocks. And as you kind of peer in, you see that there is indeed a singular fire. Above it, roasting a chicken, and 4 robed figures are cutting up pretty well, mugs in their hands. All of these cultists are human, however. And around a little bit further away from the little meal that is going on, probably about 30 foot off to the side in their own group, is another 4 mercenaries of varying races, kind of doing their own thing separate from the cultists.
All right. Noah would make note of this. His gaze kind of narrowing at the cultists and then looking over towards the mercenaries. And the cultists are just like drunk and having a good time, right?
Yeah, pretty much. I described that they're kind of cutting up and being kind of within lots of revelry, and you kind of hear don't skewer the chicken that way, you have to put it in like this. And another one, no, you put it in from the side. Don't you understand? Every 5 minutes you rotate it and it has to cook evenly. These are the cultists. And the mercenaries are kind of whispering to themselves from a distance.
Mm-hmm. All right. And this would be kind of a, I don't know, maybe like a quick thing, kind of like maybe like circle, maybe circle the area. I want to check to see if there are any signs that maybe a mercenary is not with the group and is it like making rounds or something like that. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. And it's
Would
funny
you
that
like,
you say that. Go ahead. And make a roll.
yeah, that'd be like another survival or perception, or
Perception.
perception. All right. Oh, hello. That'd be a 26.
Yeah. So, kind of hidden by some larger rocks, there are two more figures who are kind of being a little bit away from the group, a little more secretive, that you notice out of the corner of your eye as you sit and watch for a few minutes. And it's like they are devising something almost. They're not really part of the revelry. They're kind of quiet, talking to themselves.
Mm-hmm. But definitely too far away for me to notice what they're saying.
Right.
Yeah. And I'm sorry, you said were these other mercenaries, or was it just the mercenaries that I already saw that were kind of doing that?
What do you mean?
Because you said they look like they were devising something. Are these the same four mercenaries, or are they the others off to the side? I missed it. Sorry.
They you would imagine that they're probably not just mercenaries. It's hard to tell from this distance.
Mm. Okay. And nothing about their clothing is kind of given any signals as to what they might be, other than mercenaries.
No.
All right. Yeah, so Noah would make note of this. Like, that's a little strange. All right. And he would start making his way back to the group. And just for the fun of it, he would jump down from a tree and land in front of maybe Auburn or Tristana.
And
Yeah, nothing about the. Okay, you're not even a little surprised. Whatever.
we're waiting.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good.
Of them all leaning startles at your entrance.
If you were close enough to Auburn, you would have seen his foot coming at you as you landed.
Definitely dodge.
You'll get used to it.
Yeah. So there are four cultists. They're drunk around that campfire, talking about sticking a chicken or something. And
Around a campfire, you say?
Mm-hmm.
Intriguing.
Right for the killing. And there were other four. I think they were mercenaries. They look like mercenaries, but I don't know. Something's off. Like they're not on like the same wavelength. They're not really They're not really chatting it up. I don't expect them to, but they looked like they were up to something. So, I mean, if it was my guess, and if I was in that situation, not saying I've ever been in that situation, but they might be looking to, I don't know, maybe kill the cultists, take the gold. I imagine they'd rather have it for themselves than have it go to the horde. So I don't know. Just thinking, maybe a surprise attack. Maybe you can let loose one of those fireballs on the cultists. I know they're all grouped up and nice. We don't need to kill the mercenaries.
I don't know. What if we try manipulating the mercenaries to do the dirty work for us? Why get our hands dirty if we don't have to? Seems like more fun, no?
Surely your ways intrigue me, Tristana, says Leon.
Oh, yes. Did he corrupt you?
God,
Yes.
what are you teaching her?
Many things. You would be surprised.
Yeah, I'm sure I would. Yeah, all right.
I'm back. All right, everyone. Session number 4 has been completed for now. We'll be back soon. Peace out.
Or will we?
Do 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 do.